Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's topic has 3 points, and you're going to want to stick around because the third point is a secret as to how an author can get a lot more books on the market much faster. And many authors have not considered this as an option when it comes to self-publishing, and that is what we want to discuss today. Well, the question for today is, how many books should I self-publish? And the person who sent this in is wondering, well, maybe you've self-published or you've written one book or a couple books, and you're thinking, well, was that enough, or should I do more books? And then you get stuck where you're not able to make the decision. Should you start writing more or maybe move on to something else? At what point do we start writing more or quit writing? Maybe the books we put on the market already are not really selling, and so we're thinking, aha, nobody wants to read what you have to say. But that is probably not the truth. And this is what we're going to discuss in today's video. This is Chris Baird from self-publishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check below in the description and you will find a copy of my absolutely free self-publishing checklist to make sure that you are not skipping any of the important steps when it comes to self-publishing. So let's get into it. Chicken soup. The thing is, when I was at the Air Force Academy a number of years ago, I had a roommate who was a very average reader. At the time, I was not much of a reader. I am now, thanks to self-publishing. But my roommate, he enjoyed reading lots of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. He would go through book after book after book. I began to wonder a little bit how many books actually are on the market, because he was going through so many of them, and you're just wondering, this seems like an awful lot of books from the author of the book. But the author of the series was very, very clever, because each book would be chicken soup for the soul of a hiker, chicken soup for the soul of children or grandparents or whatever it is, and you would have this whole series of books built out, and he had a hungry market. And he just keeps feeding them more books on the same subject. And there are a number of books like this, whether we're dealing within fiction and you have a whole series of books that go from book to book to book to book, and we just build a universe out of the thing, or movies, for example, or in nonfiction when we find a particular niche that we like. For example, one I was thinking about was Elrod's book series, The Miracle Morning. And then it's even better because then you work together with other authors and have them do a lot of the writing. You check to make sure it's in alignment with what you're trying to do, and you have one more book on the market following the same pattern, using the same similar advice or similar stories or whatever it would be, and you're meeting your audience's expectation. They know you, they like you, they trust you, and so they want more books. So the thing is, a huge amount of money is made going through with customers that just can't get enough. Your readers simply can't get enough. And so you just keep on coming out. So when you're sticking to one thing that works, a specific niche or niche, both are correct ways of saying it, will help you achieve what you're trying to do when you're holding into that similar niche. And we're going to take a closer look now at exactly this chicken soup for the soul, a couple of things they did right, but that is going to be able to help you with today's question, which was, how many books should I self-publish, or how many books should you self-publish? And the first answer is, you should publish as many books as you can possibly get out onto the market. The more books you publish, the more money you will make. The old books continue earning money years into the future after you've already published them and moved on. Same goes with music. A phrase that's often used is called the long tail, and that is when you put something onto the market, right? It continues to sell, not every day, but a little bit here and there. And if you have it in a lot of formats and a huge distribution, we continue to see these trickling in of sales for each book. The more books we have, we're building a long tail. Now, maybe your newest books will get the most traffic and the most new customers, but in reality, it is my old books that are making me most money. The combination of all the old books outcompetes and outsells the newest books that I've put onto the market. And on Amazon, they found that the authors who were making the most money all had something in common. They had 40 books or more out onto the market. So one of the best marketing strategies is just to write more books. Now let's get to point number 2. One pen name per type of book or niche. Do not start mixing pen names. Now, start mixing your own name with different niches. And I made this mistake when I got started. I was interested in habits and goal achievement and sleep and a whole wide variety of subjects. And so I started putting books out on all of the subjects I was interested in. But then it waters down the target audience that I'm going after. Does that make any sense? So the audience wanted to read maybe more books on habits, as, for example, Scott, I forgot his first name, but one of the other main authors on Amazon who puts books on habits. And he has Steve Scott, a whole series of books on this exact subject. You have habits for runners and habits for children, habits for adults, and we continue the game. But do not switch away from that one topic. And you might be thinking, well, won't people get bored with it? Well, you're bringing in new customers, and we're hitting it from different angles, and we learn as we go. And so you're going to learn new things that you're going to be able to implement right away, and your new audience will be more than eager to go and purchase that. And the secret answer for today, the third answer, it's that you can hire people on Fiverr or Upwork to ghostwrite for you. That is to say, you do not need to write all of the books yourself. You find profitable niches that you yourself may not be interested in writing in, but the fact is, by simply writing these books out over paying other people to write these books, and you already are familiar with the process, those books also create a long tail for you. And remember, only one pen name per niche. And it's completely acceptable. Many authors have used several pen names because they don't want to blend together the niches. And also maybe they just prefer a different name that they want to write under, and it's considered an acceptable practice. The only rule I would say is make sure your books are high quality and that your customers are going to be happy. Otherwise, they will give you low reviews, and that will stop future sales. So that's something you really need to pay attention to when you're getting started with the ghostwriting game of self-publishing. And one of the goals, of course, is to bring in more money so that you can fuel that for better tools and better editing for your own books as an author. So there's no reason you can't do both at the same time. Since you've already learned a lot of the skills that are necessary for getting your book on the market, it's just as easy to take any manuscript and put it onto the market. It's very exciting when you start to get going on that process in particular, since it frees up your time. You're using other people's time as opposed to using your own time, which you have only a finite amount of. So, how many books have you self-published so far? If you could write that below in the comments, that would greatly help me, because I want to know where you're coming from. Is it one book? Is it no books? Maybe you have 100 books. I would be really, really interested. So just write that below in the comments and check up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.